The conclave's Grand Assembly Hall had never hosted such an unusual diplomatic presentation. Designed to accommodate representatives of 50 different species, its crystalline architecture usually impressed visitors with its soaring spires and floating platforms. Today, however, all attention focused on the simple black cube sitting in the center of the chamber. Captain Sarah Chen stood beside it, still wearing her unadorned gray uniform. The only addition was a small silver pin shaped like an infinity symbol. Behind her, Dr. Marcus Wong, Terra Nova's chief scientist, made final adjustments to what they called a quantum visualization matrix. Distinguished members of the conclave, Chen began, her voice carrying naturally through the vast space, you've asked how humanity achieved quantum bifurcation technology. Rather than explain, we prefer to show. High observer Mira Lin noticed how the human delegation made no attempt to dramatize their presentation. No flourishes, no grandiose speeches. Their confidence was quiet, almost subtle. Dr. Wong pressed his hand against the black cube's surface. It responded to his touch by unfolding, not in physical space, but somehow through dimensions that Mira Lin's quantum-sensitive perception struggled to process. What you're seeing, Wong explained, is reality as it actually exists. Not as a single fixed point, but as an infinite array of possibilities existing simultaneously. The cube's unfolding had created a sphere of shifting energy that filled the chamber's center. Within it, they could see multiple versions of the same space overlapping, each slightly different from the others. Conventional physics, Wong continued, treats reality as a single timeline moving forward. We discovered that's not actually how the universe works. Reality is more like. He paused, searching for the right analogy, like a river delta. Multiple channels, all equally real, all flowing together. Admiral Kexri's crystalline appendages vibrated with skepticism. But the energy requirements to manipulate multiple realities. That's where everyone went wrong, Chen interrupted gently. It doesn't take energy to access multiple states of reality. They're already there. It takes energy to maintain the illusion that only one state exists. The demonstration sphere shifted, showing the Terra Nova as it existed across multiple quantum states. In each one, the ship was slightly different, different configurations, different energy signatures, but all fundamentally the same vessel. Our breakthrough, Wong explained, wasn't in forcing reality to do something new. It was in accepting what reality already was and learning to work with it rather than against it. Elder Jean leaned forward, his ancient form rippling with interest. You're saying that when your ship multiplies, it's not creating copies? Exactly, Chen confirmed. We're simply allowing the ship to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously while maintaining consciousness across all states. Each version is equally real, equally original. The implications stunned the assembly into silence. This wasn't just a new technology, it was an entirely new way of understanding existence itself. But the risks? Junior Observer Tech protested. The computational power required to maintain consciousness across multiple quantum states. Wong smiled. That's where human consciousness proved uniquely suited to the task. Our brains already process multiple potential realities every time we imagine, dream, or plan for the future. We simply had to learn to extend that natural ability through technology. The demonstration sphere collapsed back into the black cube, but the ripples of its revelation continued to spread through the assembly. Species that had prided themselves on their advanced technology were suddenly confronting the possibility that they had been thinking about physics entirely wrong. We're not here to dominate or compete, Chen assured them. Humanity wants to share this knowledge. But we also need to ensure it's used responsibly. Reality itself is neither good nor bad, it simply is. How we choose to interact with it determines the outcome. Mira Lin's form had settled into a deep green of understanding. That's why you approached us with one ship that could become many. You were showing us your philosophy as much as your technology. Yes, Chen acknowledged. Power isn't about how many ships you have. It's about understanding the true nature of reality and working in harmony with it rather than trying to force it to conform to our expectations. The assembly erupted in discussion, thousands of voices debating the implications of what they'd witnessed. But Elder Jean raised his ancient form, commanding silence. "Captain Chen," he said, "humanity has shown us more than advanced technology. You've shown us a new way of thinking. The question is, are we ready for such knowledge?" Chen's response was diplomatic but firm. "With respect, Elder, that's not the question. The knowledge exists whether anyone is ready or not. The real question is, will we work together to understand it and use it wisely, or will fear of the unknown hold us back?" As the assembly debated, the black cube sat quietly in the center of the chamber. To most observers, it appeared completely inert. But to Mira Lin's quantum perception, it pulsed with potential, like a window opening onto infinite possibilities. The galactic conclave faced a choice: cling to their traditional understanding of physics and reality, or embrace a fundamentally new way of seeing the universe. Humanity had offered them not just new technology, but a new perspective on existence itself. And somewhere in the quantum foam of reality, infinite versions of this moment played out simultaneously, each one equally real, each one leading to different but equally valid futures. The humans, it seemed, were comfortable with this uncertainty. The question was, could the rest of galactic society learn to be as well? The Galactic Conclave's primary observation deck erupted into chaos when humanity's first contact vessel appeared. Not because of its sudden arrival, unannounced first contact attempts were common enough, but because of what the sensors revealed. Or rather, what they couldn't reveal. One ship. Admiral Kexri chittered, his crystalline appendages vibrating with disbelief. They send one ship to meet the combined might of 50 spacefaring civilizations. High Observer Mira Lin, her translucent form shifting through shades of deep purple, studied the vessel through both conventional sensors and her species' natural ability to perceive quantum states. The human ship hung in space like a question mark, its obsidian hull seeming to drink in the light of nearby stars. Most species, she noted, her thoughts transmitting directly to the assembled council members, arrive with their entire fleet. A show of strength masking their fear. These humans. She paused, her form rippling. They're either foolish beyond measure or, prompted Council Elder Jean, his ancient form barely visible in the chamber's dim light. Or they're so far beyond us that they see no need for displays of power. The human vessel, designated in their transmissions as the Terra Nova, defied standard classification. It was neither sleek nor imposing, neither beautiful nor threatening. Instead, it simply existed in a way that made the observer's sensors struggle to define its properties. Their message was equally peculiar, noted Junior Observer Tech, pulling up the holographic replay. A human figure appeared, female, by their research, wearing a simple gray uniform with no visible rank insignia. "Greetings, Galactic Conclave. I am Captain Sarah Chen of the Terra Nova. Humanity would like to establish diplomatic relations. We come with peace and curiosity." That was it. No lengthy diplomatic overtures. No formal declarations of peaceful intent. No requests for protection protocols. "We've analyzed their vessel for 6 hours, Admiral Kexri continued, and we still can't determine its power source, weapons capabilities, or even how many crew it carries." "Have they interfered with our scans?" Elder Jean asked. "No," Mira Lin answered, her form pulsing with frustrated fascination. "Our sensors work perfectly. They simply return readings that don't make sense. The ship's mass fluctuates. Its energy signature shifts between barely detectable and nearly stellar in magnitude. And there are moments when it seems to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Most species developed along predictable technological paths, mastery of atomic energy, then fusion, then quantum mechanics. But this. "They're responding to our latest transmission," Tech announced. Captain Chen's image appeared again, this time with a slight smile. We understand your concerns about our vessel's unusual properties. We would be happy to provide a demonstration of our technological principles. However, we suggest clearing a space of approximately 10 light-minutes diameter around our current position. Admiral Kexri's crystalline form vibrated with alarm. They can't possibly. Message continues, Tech interrupted. Quote, what we're about to show you will temporarily disrupt standard sensor operations. We apologize for any inconvenience. This demonstration will explain why we felt one ship would be sufficient for first contact. Mira Lin's form shifted to deep gold, a sign of intense curiosity among her kind. Clear the space, she ordered. And route all sensor feeds through my direct perception. Whatever they're about to show us, I want to see it with every sense available. As the assembled ships of the conclave hurried to establish the requested safety perimeter, the Terra Nova hung motionless in space. To most observers, nothing about its appearance had changed. But to Mira Lin's quantum-sensitive perception, the vessel had begun to sing. Reality rippled around the Terra Nova like heat waves over desert sand. The ship's quantum signature multiplied, divided, and recombined in patterns that shouldn't have been possible according to any known laws of physics. Then, in a moment that would be recorded in 50 different species' historical archives, the human vessel demonstrated exactly why they had only sent one ship. The Terra Nova split into perfect copies of itself. Not 2, not 10, but 1,000 identical vessels, each one quantum-locked with the original, each one as real and solid as its siblings. The copies arranged themselves in a perfect sphere around the original ship, and for a moment, the combined fleet hung there, a testament to humanity's mastery of quantum mechanics. Then, as suddenly as they had appeared, the copies collapsed back into the original vessel. The entire demonstration had lasted less than 30 seconds. Message incoming, Tech whispered, their voice trembling. Captain Chen's image appeared once more, still wearing that slight smile. That was a small demonstration of quantum bifurcation technology. We can maintain such a split for approximately 73 hours before recombination becomes necessary. Each copy carries the full capabilities of the original vessel. She paused, her expression growing more serious. We sent one ship because one ship was sufficient. We look forward to your response. In the silence that followed, Elder Jean's ancient voice carried a note of something rarely heard in the conclave chambers, genuine awe. Well, he said, I believe we can dispense with the traditional first contact protocols. Humanity has certainly earned the right to skip a few steps. Mira Lin's form had settled into a deep blue of contemplation. They didn't just show us their technology, she observed. They showed us their philosophy. Why send 1,000 ships when you can send one ship that becomes 1,000? Why waste resources on displays of power when you can demonstrate capability with elegant efficiency? Admiral Kexri's crystalline appendages had stopped vibrating, now hanging limply in what might have been shock. The question isn't whether to accept their request for diplomatic relations, he said quietly. The question is whether we're advanced enough to be worthy of them. The Terra Nova waited patiently as the conclave processed what they had witnessed. Humanity had made their introduction to galactic society not with brute force or desperate pleading, but with an elegant demonstration that proved they had mastered principles the other spacefaring races had barely begun to theorize about. And they had done it with one ship. Just one ship that could become many, a physical demonstration of humanity's approach to the universe. Why force reality to conform to your expectations when you could simply expand your understanding of what reality could be? The response, when it came, was unanimous. The Galactic Conclave would welcome humanity not as supplicants or junior members, but as equals. They had earned that right not through age or military might, but through sheer ingenuity and their unique approach to solving the universe's mysteries. As preparations began for formal diplomatic exchanges, Mira Lin couldn't help but wonder what other surprises humanity had in store. After all, if this was how they chose to say hello, what would they do when they really wanted to impress someone? Beneath the icy surface of Europa, Dr. Elena Santos stood in Chamber Zero, where humanity's understanding of reality had fundamentally changed. The vast circular room, untouched for millions of years until human explorers found it 5 years ago, still hummed with ancient energy that defied conventional physics. "They're calling an emergency session of the conclave," Captain Chen's hologram reported, floating beside Elena in the chamber. "Your discovery has unsettled them." Elena traced her fingers along the crystalline walls, where complex mathematical equations flowed like liquid mercury. "They're afraid of what else we might find here." The chamber had been just the beginning. What they'd initially thought was an alien outpost turned out to be something far more significant, a teaching facility left behind by a civilization that had mastered quantum mechanics at a level humanity was only beginning to comprehend. "Show them," Elena suggested, activating the chamber's primary interface. The walls blazed with light as the ancient technology responded to her presence. "Show them exactly what we found." In the conclave's grand assembly, the diplomatic atmosphere shifted from uncertainty to awe as the feed from Europa filled their visualization sphere. The chamber's crystalline architecture, with its flowing mathematical proofs and pulsing quantum diagrams, commanded absolute attention. "What you're seeing," Elena's voice explained through the feed, "isn't just a repository of advanced technology. It's a lesson left behind by a species that called themselves the predecessors. They didn't just want to show us what was possible, they wanted to teach us how to understand it." Admiral Kexri's crystalline form vibrated with concern. "You're saying this facility chose humanity?" "Not exactly," Elena responded. "The predecessors created multiple facilities throughout the galaxy, each designed to respond to species that developed certain characteristics. We didn't just find this facility, we proved ourselves worthy of accessing it." The feed showed Elena approaching a central pillar in Chamber Zero. As she touched it, quantum equations spiraled around her, forming complex patterns that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The predecessors believed that true understanding of quantum mechanics required more than just technological advancement, she continued. It required a specific type of consciousness, one capable of holding multiple contradictory possibilities in mind simultaneously. High Observer Mira Lin's form shifted to a deep violet of revelation. "Human imagination," she whispered. "Your species' ability to conceptualize what isn't yet real." "Exactly," Elena confirmed. "The facility didn't just give us technology, it tested our ability to understand it. Every discovery we made here had to be earned through understanding, not just copied." The feed showed other chambers they discovered, vast halls filled with technological wonders, testing chambers where human consciousness was pushed to its limits, and archives containing knowledge that redefined their understanding of reality itself. "But why keep this hidden?" Elder Jean demanded. "Why not share this discovery with the conclave immediately?" Captain Chen's hologram stepped forward. "Because the predecessors left explicit warnings about the dangers of quantum technology in the wrong hands. They themselves had encountered species that tried to force quantum mechanics to bend to their will rather than working in harmony with it. The results were catastrophic." The feed shifted to show mathematical proofs demonstrating how forced manipulation of quantum states could cascade into reality-destroying paradoxes. The assembly fell silent as they processed the implications. "We didn't hide this discovery out of mistrust," Elena explained. "We needed to understand it fully ourselves before we could share it responsibly." "The quantum bifurcation technology we demonstrated? It's one of the simplest applications of what we've learned here." The chamber walls pulsed with energy as Elena accessed deeper levels of the predecessor database. They left messages for whoever would find this place. Not just technical knowledge, but philosophical guidance. They believed that true mastery of quantum mechanics required a fundamental shift in how a species perceived reality itself. Through the feed, the assembly watched as ancient symbols transformed into modern language. "To those who find this place, understand that the universe is not a machine to be controlled, but a dance to be joined. Your consciousness is not separate from the quantum fabric of reality, it is an expression of it. Learn not to dominate, but to harmonize. Admiral Kexri's skepticism had given way to something approaching reverence. How many other facilities are there? We don't know, Chen admitted. The predecessors left clues about others, but each one requires a different type of understanding to access. Some might respond to other species' unique consciousness patterns. This facility responded to human imagination and our ability to hold paradox, others might require different qualities. The implications slowly dawned on the assembly. This wasn't just about humanity's advancement, it was about different species bringing different perspectives to understanding the universe's deepest mysteries. We're not here to claim superiority, Elena assured them. We're here because the predecessors left us a message that applies to all spacefaring species. The universe is vast enough for many paths to understanding. What humanity has learned is just one approach. We believe that by combining our different perspectives, we might achieve what the predecessors hoped for, a galactic civilization that truly understands its place in the quantum dance of reality. As the feed from Europa continued, showing chamber after chamber of ancient wisdom waiting to be understood, the assembly began to grasp the true magnitude of what humanity was offering. This wasn't just an advancement in technology, it was an invitation to join in understanding the universe in entirely new ways. The question was no longer whether humanity deserved a place in galactic society, but whether galactic society was ready to embrace the deeper mysteries that humanity had begun to uncover. The private chambers of the Conclave's Security Council thrummed with tension. Delegate VX Thor, his crystalline form pulsing angry red, projected his thoughts with barely contained fury. They must be contained, he insisted. These humans have accessed knowledge that took other species millennia to even approach. The balance of power. Balance? High Observer Mira Lin interrupted, her form rippling with controlled irritation. There is no balance to protect. What humanity has shown us changes everything we thought we knew about reality itself. The Security Council chamber, designed to dampen both energy signatures and quantum fluctuations, felt unusually cramped with representatives from 12 of the most powerful species in known space. Each had come with their own agenda. None had expected those agendas to be rendered obsolete by humanity's revelations. Admiral Kexri, who had initially been skeptical of human capabilities, now found himself in the uncomfortable position of defending them. The humans have been transparent about their discoveries. They've offered to share. Share. VX Thor's crystalline appendages vibrated with scorn. They've offered to share what they think we're ready for. Who are they to decide? In orbit around Europa, unaware of the Council's debate, the Terra Nova continued its regular quantum state shifts. Captain Chen, however, was far from unaware of the political storm brewing. They're going to make a move, she told Dr. Elena Santos through a quantum-encrypted channel. Our sensors detect fleet movements from 3 different Council species. Elena, still working in Chamber 0, didn't look up from the flowing equations. They still don't understand. This isn't about control, it's about comprehension. Back in the Council chamber, the debate had turned philosophical. Elder Jean, his ancient form barely visible, spoke with the weight of millennia. Perhaps we should consider why the predecessors chose to make their facility responsive to human consciousness specifically. Chose? VX Thor scoffed. More likely the humans forced their way in, like they forced their way through everything else. Look at their history, they've never encountered a barrier they didn't try to break. Exactly, Mira Lin's form shifted to a deep blue of revelation. That's precisely why the facility responded to them. Not because they forced their way through barriers, but because they refused to accept that barriers are permanent. In Chamber 0, Elena suddenly straightened. The equations on the wall had shifted, revealing new patterns. Sarah, she called to Chen, we need to accelerate our timeline. The facility, it's responding to the current situation. The chamber's walls pulsed with increasing intensity, mathematical proofs flowing faster, quantum states multiplying. It was as if the ancient technology was preparing for something. In the council chamber, the debate was interrupted by urgent communications. Multiple fleets were moving into position around Europa, their intentions clear despite their diplomatic declarations. "This is foolishness," Admiral Kexri protested. "If humanity wanted to harm us, they've had the capability since they first discovered the facility. Which is precisely why we must act now," Viexthor declared. "Before they discover even more. The facility must be secured for the good of all species." The Terra Nova's sensors detected the approaching fleets, but Captain Chen made no move to engage or retreat. Instead, she opened a channel to all approaching vessels. "This is Captain Chen of the Terra Nova. We understand your concerns, but we urge you to consider what you're about to attempt. The predecessors left safeguards that we don't fully understand yet." In Chamber 0, Elena watched as new equations revealed themselves, warnings left by the predecessors about the dangers of quantum technology in the hands of those who sought to control rather than understand. "Sarah," she transmitted urgently, "the facility isn't just responding to the situation, it's preparing to demonstrate why force isn't the answer." The approaching fleets, representing the combined might of 3 of the most powerful council species, moved into attack position. Their commanders, convinced they were acting for the greater good, prepared to secure what they saw as too dangerous to leave in human hands. What they didn't understand, what humanity had learned through careful study of the predecessors' teachings, was that quantum reality responded to intention as much as action. The facility hadn't just taught humanity how to manipulate quantum states, it had taught them why certain approaches worked and others led to disaster. As the fleets prepared to fire their first salvos, the space around Europa began to shimmer with quantum possibilities. The facility, ancient but far from dormant, prepared to deliver its most important lesson yet, one that would demonstrate why the predecessors had chosen to make understanding, not force, the key to accessing their knowledge. The stage was set for a confrontation that would either tear the galaxy apart or force its species to embrace a new way of thinking about reality itself. And in Chamber 0, as Elena watched the equations flow faster and faster, she realized the predecessors had prepared for this very moment, a test not just of humanity, but of all spacefaring species' readiness to truly understand the nature of reality. As 3 battle fleets converged on Europa, Chamber 0 blazed with light. The predecessors' equations weren't just flowing now, they were singing, harmonizing in frequencies that resonated with the quantum fabric of space itself. "Elena," Captain Chen's voice came through their quantum link, "we have multiple weapons locked on both the Terra Nova and the facility. Whatever the predecessors planned for this moment. It's already happening," Elena interrupted, watching as new symbols emerged from the facility's crystalline walls. "Sarah, remember what the first message said. The universe is not a machine to be controlled, but a dance to be joined." In the Conclave's Security Council chamber, alarms blared as sensors detected massive quantum fluctuations around Europa. High Observer Mira Lin's form pulsed with recognition. "Those energy patterns, they're similar to the human quantum bifurcation technology, but on a scale that shouldn't be possible." The space around Europa shimmered, not with the defensive shields everyone expected, but with something far more profound. Reality itself seemed to fold, unfold, and refold, creating patterns that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. "This is Captain Chen to all approaching vessels," Sarah's calm voice transmitted across all frequencies. "What you're about to witness was left by the predecessors as a demonstration of why force cannot access true understanding." The attacking fleets found their weapons suddenly existing in quantum superposition, simultaneously armed and disarmed, fired and unfired. But instead of causing destruction, the quantum state confusion simply rendered them ineffective, like trying to attack a reflection in a mirror. "Impossible." Delegate Viexthor's crystalline form vibrated with shock. "The energy requirements to maintain quantum uncertainty fields at that scale. That's what we've been trying to explain," Elena's voice came through to the council chamber. "You're thinking in terms of forcing reality to do what you want. The predecessors learned to work with reality's natural quantum state. The facility's defense wasn't an attack or even a shield, it was a demonstration. Every ship in the attacking fleet found itself experiencing multiple quantum states simultaneously, their crews suddenly aware of countless possible versions of themselves. Not through technology, but through direct experience. In the council chamber, Elder Jean's ancient form brightened with understanding. They're showing us, showing all of us, what they learned. Not telling, not forcing, but letting us experience it ourselves. The quantum effect spread, touching not just the ships but the consciousness of every being in range. For a brief moment, species that had evolved to perceive reality as fixed and singular experienced existence as humanity had learned to see it, fluid, multiple, filled with infinite possibility. This, Elena transmitted, is why the facility responded to human consciousness. Not because we're special, but because we naturally dream, imagine, and hold multiple possibilities in our minds. We didn't have to overcome our consciousness to understand quantum reality, we just had to recognize that we were already part of it. The attacking fleets hung motionless in space, their crews transformed by the experience of perceiving reality as the predecessors had intended. It wasn't about power or control, it was about understanding that the universe itself was alive with possibility. The predecessors didn't choose humanity to dominate, Captain Chen explained, her voice gentle. They chose us to demonstrate. Other facilities out there will respond to other species' unique forms of consciousness. We're all part of the same quantum dance, we just perceive the steps differently. In Chamber 0, the equations settled into a new pattern, one that Elena recognized from their first discoveries. The true power, she transmitted, isn't in controlling quantum states. It's in understanding that we are quantum states, conscious expressions of reality experiencing itself. The attack fleets began to withdraw, not in defeat, but in comprehension. They had come seeking to control advanced technology and had instead received a lesson about the nature of existence itself. In the council chamber, Mira Lin's form settled into a deep gold of acceptance. They never intended to keep this knowledge to themselves, she realized. They were waiting until we were ready to understand why they received it first. As the quantum effect faded, it left behind not just memory but understanding. The predecessors had created their facilities not to elevate any one species, but to teach a fundamental truth, that consciousness, quantum mechanics, and reality itself were all expressions of the same cosmic dance. This was the real test, Elena explained to the assembled council. Not whether we could master quantum technology, but whether we could help others understand it without forcing that understanding upon them. The predecessors learned this lesson long ago, true power comes not from controlling reality, but from dancing with it. The crisis had passed, transformed into an opportunity for understanding that would reshape galactic society. Humanity had proved itself not through force of arms or technological superiority, but by helping others experience the truth they had discovered. In Chamber 0, new equations began to form, coordinates to other facilities waiting to be discovered by species whose unique forms of consciousness would unlock different aspects of universal truth. The galaxy's next great adventure was just beginning. And in the quantum dance of reality, infinite possibilities continued to unfold, each one a reminder that the universe's greatest mysteries yield not to force, but to understanding.